Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto died and sent to the My Little Pony universe with Harem? Part 7. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. It was another beautiful day in Ponyville as every pony were going about their daily activities with smiles on their faces. Naruto was currently at home reading from one of the scrolls that he received from Kakashi about wind manipulation. According to the scroll, wind-style jutsus have an advantage against lightning-style jutsus, but is very weak against fire-style jutsus, since it rather empowers the flames. Better keep that tidbit at the back of my mind. Then he heard someone knocking at the front door and got up to answer it. I wonder who it is. He opened the door only to be greeted with a shower of confetti, much to his surprise. Then he saw Pinkie Pie and her pet alligator Gummy wearing clown costumes as she started to sing. "This is your singing telegram. I hope it finds you well. You're invited to a party. Cause we think you're really swell. Gummy's turning 1 year old. So help us celebrate. The cakes will be delicious. The festivities first rate. There will be games and dancing. Bob for apples, cut a rug. And when the party's over, we'll gather round for a group hug. No need to bring a gift. Being there will be enough. Birthdays mean having fun with friends. Not getting lots of stuff. It won't be the same without you. So we hope that you say yes. So, please, oh please RSVP. And come and be our guest." After Pinkie Pie finished singing, Naruto stood there stunned before finally catching on to what she meant and smiled happily at her. "Of course I'll be there, Pinks. Be sure to expect Trixie and I to show up at the party." "Believe it," said Naruto. "Okie dokie Loki, I have to go and give Twilight and the others my singing telegram for the party." "Ta-ta for now." Pinkie hopped away happily with Gummy clamping onto her puffy mane so as not to fall off. "I hope she doesn't tire herself out if she's going to singing to every pony she wants to invite to the party." Naruto closed the door and was making his way back to the workshop when he heard hoofsteps and turned to see Trixie coming down the stairs while levitating some books on magic spells. "Oh Naruto," Trixie was wondering who it was at the door, said Trixie. "It was Pinkie Pie. She was inviting us to a party at her house to celebrate Gummy's birthday," said Naruto. "In that case, Trixie will need to get herself ready for the party tonight," said Trixie before going back up the stairs to her room to freshen up a bit while Naruto went back to the workshop to continue reading the scroll. Later on, as Celestia's sun had already set and Luna's moon was rising over Ponyville, Naruto and Trixie had left the house and had arrived at the front door of the Sugar Cube corner. He knocked on the door and it wasn't for long till opened up to reveal Pinkie Pie, who was happy upon seeing them. "Naru, Trixie. I'm so happy that you made to Gummy's birthday party." Pinkie was hopping happily. "Come on Pinks, there's no way I'm going to miss a party that you invite me to," said Naruto with a smile. Trixie was also nodding in agreement. Trixie agrees with him as she also enjoys your parties as well. "Well, come on in, every pony is here." Pinkie ushered them inside. They could see that the place was decorated with colorful streamers, bunting, and a banner which says "Happy Birthday Gummy." They could also see the tables were laden with snacks, pastries and punch. "Hey Naruto." He turned towards the voice to see Applejack and Rainbow Dash standing around a large barrel of water and figured that they were playing bobbing for apples before walking towards them with Pinkie in tow, while Trixie went to chat with Rarity as well as help herself to some of the snacks. "Hey AJ, Dash. I can see that you two are having a good time right now," said Naruto. "We sure are. Pinkie has really planned for this party," said AJ. "I'll say," said Rainbow Dash. "Thanks guys, just to let you know there are a few surprises in there," said Pinkie Pie. "What kind of surprises?" "It can't be a surprise if you already know about it, Dash," said Naruto with a smirk. "Yes indeedy, you just have to find out on your own." Pinkie Pie walked away, leaving Rainbow Dash and Applejack to look excitedly at the barrel before dipping their heads in it. AJ pulled out an apple that had a spring attached to it, which yanked her into the water, and Rainbow Dash pulled her head out with Gummy latching onto her snout, much to Naruto's amusement. "So there's the birthday alligator we were looking for. Happy birthday Gummy," said Naruto. Then Gummy let go and went to bite him by his tail. Naruto flicked his tail to send Gummy into the air before it landed on top of his head, where it started to nip on his mane. Then he walked over to Rarity and Trixie, who were drinking glasses of punch from the table. "This punch is simply divine if I do say so myself," said Rarity. "Indeed it is." Trixie believed this is the recipe which was used for the Spring Has Sprung party some time ago, said Trixie after finishing her own and going for a refill. "Nope, it's rather something new and Gummy loves it." The moment Pinkie said that, Gummy made a dive for the bowl, but Naruto quickly caught him with his tail. Now Gummy, we can't have you hogging it all to yourself, okay?" Naruto smirked as Gummy started biting his tail, while the mares breathed a sigh of relief at what had almost happened. Then the music started to pick up as every pony began to dance to the tune, although there were a few times when Pinkie Pie in her excitement would bump into the others and send them crashing into a wall, with Twilight being the first and Naruto the most frequent victim, but he simply shrugs it off. Soon enough it had gotten very late and every pony were making their way towards their homes while Pinkie Pie was looking at them from the window of her room. "Ooh-wee. I'm beat, I've never danced this much since your last party. Thanks for the invite," said Applejack. "See you later birthday alligator," said Rainbow Dash. "Bravo for hosting another beautiful soiree," said Rarity. "It's been lovely," said Fluttershy. "Trixie is very happy to have been invited to one of your many great parties," said Trixie. "This has to be one of your best parties yet, Pinks, and I'm looking forward to your next one," said Naruto. "Naruto is right, it was a great party. We should do this again soon, bye Pinkie Pie," said Twilight before walking away towards her home. Pinkie Pie waved as she watched them leave. "Bye guys." Then she thought on the words which Twilight said, "We should do this again soon." The next day as Celestia's sun had risen over the horizon, Naruto was at home sleeping peacefully and dreaming about Raymond when he was awakened from his sleep by loud knockings at the front door. "Man, what a party last night, I expect no less from Pinks." Naruto rubbed his eyes as he felt the sleepiness go away before he heard knocking on the door again. Alright, I'm coming." He headed downstairs and opened the door to see Pinkie Pie behind it and wearing a basket full of pink envelopes. "Good morning Pinks. Tianaru, do you know what time it is?" said Pinkie Pie excitedly. Naruto was confused at her statement. "I don't know, especially since I just woke up from bed." "It's party time. I'm giving out invitations for Gummy's after birthday party which is this afternoon." "You mean we've having another party?" "That's right. We had a lot of fun on the previous one and now we'll have lots more fun in this one. All of our friends will be there and there will be dancing and games and ice cream and punch." Pinkie then noticed that Naruto was reading the letter quite thoughtfully. "Or will you be busy? I hope you could make time for it." Naruto snapped out of his thoughts before waving a hoof in a placating manner. "Don't worry about it, I'll be sure to make time to come." Pinkie Pie smiled happily upon hearing that. "Great. Well, I'm off to give out more invitations, catch you later." Then she happily hopped away. "Well now, let's what we have on today's agenda," said Naruto as he went back inside the house to take a nice warm bath and have breakfast. Then he headed towards the whirlpool and was looking through a list of orders for where the crystals are to be delivered before experimenting on some new seals. He was currently drawing a seal on a paper tag when suddenly the door was slammed open which startled him to make a mistake on the seal. "Naru, I need your help," said Pinkie Pie, but Naruto wasn't listening as he saw the tag beginning to sizzle. He quickly grabbed the tag and threw it out through an open window and moments later a loud bang was heard outside the shop. "Phew, that was close," said Naruto before turning to Pinkie Pie. "You have to be more careful, jutsu can be quite dangerous if not handled cautiously. I almost blew up the shop." "Sorry about that, how about a muffin as an apology?" said Pinkie Pie. "It's not much of a big deal, so what's up?" "There's something suspicious going on. When I went to hand out the invitations, they all said that they couldn't make it to the party since they have plans for the afternoon. Twilight was behind her studies and had to hit the books, Applejack needs to pick apples, Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy are house-sitting for a vacationing bear, and Rarity had to wash her hair. As I thought about it, I came upon one conclusion: they were making excuses not to come to Gummy's party." Naruto raised his eyebrows in surprise at what Pinkie Pie said. "What makes you so sure that they were making up excuses?" "I saw Twilight sneaking into the sugar cube corner from my window and overheard her and Mrs. Cakes talking about something that they didn't want me to know about, which is very strange since we're friends. Then I saw her sneak away with a white box." "That does sound suspicious," said Naruto. "Which is why I came to ask for your help so that you can do your ninja thing and find out what secret it is that they don't want me to know about and why they won't come to Gummy's party." Naruto thought deeply for a moment before speaking up. "Okay Pinks, I'll help you out. Are you ready for a stealth mission?" Then he saw Pinkie put on a pair of eyeglasses with a pair of thick eyebrows and a mustache attached to it. "Yes sir," said Pinkie Pie with a salute. On streets, Twilight was seen walking on the tips of her hooves as she made her way across town. She passed by a tall tree and failed to notice that a few leaves fell before a head wearing a black mask poked out and was staring at her silently before it dropped to reveal a pony in black clothing. The pony quickly hid behind the bushes as he continued to follow Twilight until she reached a carousel boutique. There he saw Rarity come out and seemed quite sneaky about it when she saw Twilight. "She didn't see you at the sweet shop, did she?" asked Rarity. "I don't think so," Twilight replied. "Oh good, I'd hate for her to ruin everything." "Me too." The pony squinted his eyes as he listened to the conversation, then he saw Twilight pass the white box over to Rarity, who carried it with her tail and snuck away. He took out an empty can with a string attached to it and spoke through it. "Think puff, this is Bushy Tail. Twilight has passed the mysterious Bakage over to Rarity, who is making her way towards your location, said the pony who turned out to be Naruto. We trail the string all the way to a rectangular bale of hay, where a pair of eyes could be seen peeping out of it. Roger bushy tail, this is Pink Puff over and out, said Pink Puff who was Pinkie Pie, then she saw Rarity tiptoeing by and hopped after her while still in the bale of hay. She followed her to an alleyway where she saw Fluttershy poke her head out and was looking around to see if anyone was watching and listened in on their conversation. Have you seen her? Asked Rarity. Not since this morning, Fluttershy replied. Me neither, can you believe she was planning on throwing an after-birthday party today? I'm just glad I was able to come up with an excuse for why I couldn't be there. Me too, this is obviously going to be so much better. As long as we keep her from finding out about it, it will. Hearing those words made Pinkie Pie sad that they didn't want to come to her party when they tell her that they always enjoy her parties. She felt something bump into her and looked to see Fluttershy had walked into her, who screamed out loud upon seeing a pair of eyes staring back at her and took off with the white box. I thought every pony loved my parties, said Pinkie Pie sadly. At moment Rainbow Dash passed by while carrying some saddlebags. Hi Pinkie Pie, she went stiff upon realizing who she was talking to. Then she took off at high speed. Rainbow Dash wait. Pinkie Pie took out the can and spoke through it. This is Pink Puff and I'm about to pursue Rainbow Dash, who is carrying bags of unknown content. Roger Pink Puff, I'll be joining up with you soon, said Naruto. Then Pinkie Pie jumped out of the hay and ran after Rainbow Dash. She chased after Rainbow Dash throughout Ponyville as she tried to outrun her or hide in places like the school bell, but couldn't shake her off until she made her way over to Sweet Apple Acres, where Applejack was walking to the barn. Applejack? We have a problem, said Rainbow Dash. Applejack let out a gasp when she saw Pinkie Pie close behind. She let Rainbow Dash into the barn and quickly entered it while closing the barn door shut behind her. Pinkie Pie was at the door and bonking it with her head, then she heard hoofsteps and turned to see Naruto approaching her. Rainbow Dash and Applejack are in there. Now to find out what they're up to, Naruto walked up to the door and knocked on it, then the upper door opened up slightly to show Applejack, who looked twitchy. Howdy partners, said Applejack. Hi AJ, Pinks and I were wondering what you guys were up to, said Naruto. Nothing really, we aren't up to anything at all. Then you won't mind if we take a look inside the barn, said Pinkie Pie, trying to poke her head in, but Applejack was blocking her view, which made Naruto quirk an eyebrow at her behavior. No, not really, you can't come in, alright now. But Rainbow Dash just went in there and was carrying a bag. Oh that? She was just bringing in some supplies. Yeah, she was bringing some supplies for some renovation. And there's a lot of construction going right as you can hear it. They listened in and could hear the song of wood and hammering out nails. Like I said before, we are doing some serious construction. If it was construction, then I should be able to help out since I know a bit about it from my old world, said Naruto as he took a step forward. No. I mean I appreciate the offer, but I'm sure we can manage on our own and I'm sure that you're busy with your shop and all that. Applejack smiled but was visibly as Naruto and Pinkie Pie were staring at her quite intently with a slight frown on their faces. Okie dokie Loki, said Pinkie Pie. We'll be off then, just let us know if you need our help with the construction, said Naruto. Applejack let out a sigh of relief as she watched Naruto and Pinkie Pie leave. Naruto turned his head slightly and saw Twilight and the others peep through the door and squinted his eyes a bit. Soon they were back at Naruto's shop and having a discussion. It's obvious that they're hiding something from us, cause we all know that AJ is really bad at lying, said Naruto. That's right. It's nothing but secrets and lies with them. They're up to something and they don't want me to find out. Well, I'm going to find out about it big time and I know just who to ask, said Pinkie Pie. Really? Who? Asked Naruto curiously. Whoa. Nice bread, said Spike, who was sitting at a table with a large plate of gems. Pinkie Pie and Naruto at the sugar cube corner where the party was taking place. Yup, and it's all yours Spike, all you have to do is talk, said Pinkie Pie. That's it. Okay, well what a beautiful weather we're having today, eh? I love a sunny spring day, don't you? The birds chirping and the flowers blooming and… That's not what she means Spike, Pinks is asking about our friends, said Naruto with Pinkie nodding in affirmation. Oh okay, though I find it weird since Pinkie knows about every pony. Well there's Twilight Sparkle, she's a unicorn, good with magic and a real brainiac. Then there's Rarity, a total knockout. Naruto's left eye twitched upon hearing that, though he can't seem to figure the reason why before focusing his attention back to the conversation. And there's Fluttershy, a Pegasus who's afraid of heights. Hey, what's up with that? Pinkie was shaking her head in negative. You're not understanding me. I want you to confess. Confess? Spike looked confused, then the room went dark with only a lamp pointing at him. Confess? Pinkie was staring at him intently and Naruto was nearby with a pen and a notepad ready to write down whatever he says. Okay, I'll talk. I'm the one who spilled juice all over Twilight's copy of Magical Mysteries and Practical Potions," said Spike with a cringe. "And?" asked Pinky while Naruto was writing the statement down. "And I'm the one who used up all the hot water in Ponyville yesterday when I took a 7-hour bubble bath." "That explains the cold bath I had back then," thought Naruto. He had to use a pyro breath to heat up the water in the tub after jumping in and getting the chills. And?" Pinky asked again. "And sometimes when no one's around I do this." Spike brought out a tall mirror and started flexing his muscles and admiring his reflection. "Looking good, Spike, looking real good." Naruto quickly put a hoof over his mouth to keep his laughter from escaping. "Not what we wanted to hear, but I'm definitely writing this down." Then he flinched upon receiving a from a shadow clone which he left behind at the shop. Then he called out to Pinkie Pie, "Hey Pinks, there's something I gotta go and get from the shop. I'll be right back." "Okay Naru," said Pinkie as she saw Naruto leave before turning her attention back to Spike, who was intimidated by her stare. "So what is it you want to hear? Tell me what you want me to say and I'll say it," said Spike. "Tell me that my friends are all lying to me and avoiding me because they don't like my parties and they don't want to be my friends anymore," said Pinkie Pie. "Your friends are all lying to you and avoiding you because they don't like your parties and they don't want to be your friends anymore," Spike repeated after her. "Aha. I knew it." But then she felt depressed and even her puffy mane sort of deflated and draped over her shoulders. "Oh no, my friends don't like my parties and they don't want to be my friends anymore." It went to the point that after Spike had left, she actually created imaginary friends with a bucket of turnips, pile of rocks, clump of lint and a bag of flour, whom she calls Mr. Turnip, Rocky, Sir Linsalid and Madame LaFlower respectively. She was chatting with them when she heard someone knocking on the door. I wonder who could that be? Maybe Naru. He had been taking too long at his shop, but when the door opened up, she frowned when she saw that it wasn't Naruto, but Rainbow Dash. "Hey Pinkie Pie. Sorry I was in such a rush earlier. Had some place to be and couldn't slow down and say hello, you know how it goes." Rainbow Dash walked in while looking apologetic. "I know how it goes alright," Pinkie grumbled angrily. Rainbow Dash flinched a bit from the reply. "Yeah, so why don't you come with me over to Sweet Apple Acres?" "No thanks, I'm spending time here with my real friends and another real friend will soon be coming to join us. Isn't that right, Madame LaFlower?" "Oui. That is correct, madam," said Madame LaFlower with Pinkie acting as its voice. Pinkie Pie." Rainbow Dash was bit weirded out by her behavior. "Another slice of cake, Sir Linsalid." "I'd love one," Pinkie mimicked for the clump of lint. "Alrighty, what do you say we get out of Creepy Town and head over to Applejack's?" Rainbow Dash tried to approach her when a stool with a bucket of turnips got in her way. "She's not going anywhere," said Mountain Turnip. "I certainly am not, I'm having a wonderful time right here and Naruto will soon join me," said Pinkie Pie. "You really should just come with me. You heard the lady. She ain't going no here's, chump," said Rocky, which annoyed Rainbow Dash. "Who you calling a chump, chump?" Rainbow Dash paused upon realizing what she just did. "That's it, party's over. Come on Pinkie Pie." "No." Pinkie Pie turned away from her. "Pinkie Pie, let's go." "I said no." Then Rainbow Dash to push her towards the door. "You have to come with me." And Pinkie Pie refused to budge. "No I don't." "Oh you wanna do this the hard way? We'll do this the hard way." Rainbow Dash grabbed her by the tail and dragged her out of the house with Gummy along for the ride, all the way to Sweet Apple Acres, until stopping before the barn. "We're here." She opened the door for Pinkie Pie to look inside and saw that the whole place was decorated with balloons, banners, and streamers. She also saw Twilight, Fluttershy, Rarity and Applejack wearing party hats and smiling at her. "Surprise," they said happily. Pinkie Pie still didn't want to go inside, but Rainbow Dash pushed her in despite that. "I really thought that she'd be more excited," said Fluttershy, since Pinkie Pie wasn't reacting like they thought she would. "Excited? Excited? Why would I be excited to attend my own farewell party?" said Pinkie Pie angrily. "Farewell party?" Twilight and the others were confused by what she said. "That's right. You don't like me anymore, so you decided to kick me out of the group and throw a great big party to celebrate. A farewell to Pinkie Pie party. And you dragged me away from my party which Naruto said he would attend and there's no one there. Why in the world would you think that we didn't like you, Sugar Cube?" asked Applejack, which pretty angered Pinkie Pie. "Why? Why? Why? Because you have been lying to me, avoiding me all day, that's why." Yeah. Because we wanted your party to be a surprise. Like Naruto said, it can't be a surprise if you already know about it," said Rainbow Dash with a smirk which made Pinkie Pie raise an eyebrow in confusion. "We'd be planning this party for a while now, for such a long time. We had to make excuses for why we couldn't attend Gummy's party so that we could get everything ready for yours," said Rarity. "And if it's a farewell party, why does the cake I picked up from Sugar Cube Corner say happy birthday Pinkie Pie?" said Twilight as she pointed at the cake. Pinkie Pie took a long look around the barn more clearly and saw that there were even presents on top of a table including the cake before it finally dawned upon her as her mane puffed up because it's my birthday. Oh, how could I forget my own birthday? Because it's just like you Pinks, a voice spoke out. Every pony turned to see Naruto leaning against a barn door with a foxy grin on his face. Naru? You knew about this? Asked Pinkie. That's right, when we learned that you were getting suspicious and tried to find out about our surprise party. Naruto quickly sent a shadow clone to alert before creating more and turning into us to lead you on a wild goose chase, said Twilight. Although we almost had our cover blown when you saw the real Rainbow Dash and chased her to the barn, so my clones who were there made those sounds to throw you off, said Naruto. Rainbow Dash rubbed the back of her head sheepishly. Then why did you leave when we were talking to Spike? Asked Pinkie Pie. That's because I wanted to get your present ready, as well as invite other ponies to the party. So all of you liked me so much that you decided to throw me a surprise party. Of course Pinks, what's not to like about you? Your cheery and excitable personality and your tendency to act randomly always puts a smile on our faces. This made Pinkie Pie smile happily as she scooped everyone into a group hug. You guys are the best friends ever. How could I ever have doubted you? She looked apologetic. It's alright Pinkie Pie, it could have happened to any of us, said Twilight with every pony nodding in agreement. Happy birthday Pinkie Pie. They turned to see that the ponies whom Naruto invited had finally arrived. They were Trixie, Derpy and her daughter Dinky, Vinyl Scratch, Zecora, Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, Apple Bloom, Mayor Mare and Big Mac. Alright every pony. Let's this party started. Said Naruto and every pony cheered out loud, then he turned to Vinyl. You know what to do Vinny. Gotcha. Release sound system. Then several orbs came out her new medallion and transformed into loudspeakers, sound mixer and a CD player. You're on Naruto. Then she tossed a microphone towards Naruto who used his magic to catch it and started to sing as the music began to play with every pony slowly nodding to the beat. Pharrell Williams happy. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine she's here, you can take away. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. But the air, like I don't care baby by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news talking this and that. Yeah, give me all you got, don't hold back. Yeah, well I should probably warn you I'll be just fine. Yeah, no offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Happy, bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. Love is too happy to bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. I said bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. Love is too happy to bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. I said. Every pony joined in on the chorus with Naruto. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Happy, bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. Love is too happy to bring me down. And nothing, bring me down. I said. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. End of music. Every pony was cheering once the song came to. Naruto simply grinned and walked towards Pinkie Pie. Hey Pinks, I have got a nice presents for you. Release present. An orb came out of his medallion and transformed into a parcel. Pinkie Pie excitedly opened up the box and took out an embroidered ball which had lots of colors and different pattern. Ooh, what is it Naru? The others came to listen as well, especially Rarity. That is a tamari ball, it's pieces of silk fabric wadded up to form a ball before being wrapped with strips of fabric. They are known to symbolize deep friendship and loyalty, and whoever receives it will be blessed with a brilliant and happy, said Naruto. Thank you, Naru. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pinkie Pie hugged Naruto so tightly that he was finding it hard to breathe. He took a glance towards Dr. Woos and winked at him before receiving one in return. Turns out that he had the doctor do him a favor and transport him to his old world and buy the gift. I must say that this Tamari ball has given me ideas for a new fashion, said Rarity with a twinkle in the eye. Hey guys, you wouldn't mind if we celebrate Gummy's after birthday too, would you? Asked Pinkie Pie. Of course, I did say that I would attend, said Naruto. Alrighty then, let's have a party for Gummy, said Rainbow Dash. The said alligator was seen chewing on a balloon in an attempt to pop it. Looks like tonight's the night, said Naruto as he looked at the calendar which was hanging on a wall in his room. Majority of the days in the month have been crossed out with a red marker, except one that was circled and had the initials GGG. The Grand Galloping Gala will be held this evening over at the Canterlot Castle, but I don't see why every pony would be making such a big deal about it. I mean, it's just a party like any other, but that's just me talking since I'm never one for formalities. Then he glanced at the drawer where a golden ticket laid on top of it. Let's not forget that I was invited by the princesses personally to come along with Twilight and the girls, though it was funny what happened when the tickets first showed up in Celestia's letter, Naruto snickered as he recalled a few months ago. When the letter came, there were 2 tickets attached to it, one for Twilight and the other for whomever she wants to bring along. This led to the others doing everything they can to impress Twilight so that she will take one of them along to the gala for their own reasons. Applejack wanted to raise enough money to improve the farm, Rainbow Dash wanted to impress the Wanderbolts to let her join them, Rarity wanted to have a chance encounter with her Prince Charming, Pinkie Pie thought that it would be a bigger party than the one she puts up, and Fluttershy wanted to see the animals in the castle garden. However, the competition led into total chaos, especially when every pony in town heard about it and wanted to go as well. Naruto had to help Twilight and Spike out by using a smoke bomb before creating 2 shadow clones who transformed into them to serve as distractions for them to escape to the library. But when they got there, it turns out that Applejack and the others had been waiting but were there to apologize for their behavior. Then Twilight wrote a letter to the princess that she can't bring herself to choose one of her friends to bring along to the gala and so won't be able to attend, but the funny thing was when she received a reply from Celestia saying why she didn't simply tell her the problem and so had attached 4 more tickets to the letter. It was even funnier when they realized that Naruto didn't have a ticket until he told them that he already has a ticket which he received personally from the princesses when he went to visit them during one of his deliveries over at Canterlot. Naruto chuckled as he remembered the girls looking at him with their mouths gaping open in surprise before asking why he didn't tell them, to which he responded that they didn't ask until now. Well, I better head over to the Carousel Boutique and get ready to put on my tuxedo since Rare wouldn't let me bring it home, saying something like I might ruin it and there would be no time to fix it. But that said, Naruto left the mansion and soon found himself over at his destination and found the girls already waiting there. Pinkie Pie was playing on a trampoline, Twilight was sitting nearby and reading a book with Spike watching her, and Applejack, Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash were just arriving. Naru, are you excited to be going to the Grand Galloping Gala tonight? I know I am. And Twilight and Rarity and Fluttershy and Applejack and Rainbow Dash, said Pinkie Pie as she continued to bounce on the trampoline. Keep it down, Pinkie Pie, I can't concentrate on my reading with you being so loud, said Twilight, looking up from her book. Come on, Twilight, you can't hold it against her for being overexcited since she's been looking forward to it for a while now. I'm sure the same could be said for the others, said Naruto. You're right about that, partner, said Applejack. I can't wait to meet the Wanderbolts. They'll definitely let me in when I show them my skills, said Rainbow Dash with stars in her eyes. I'm looking forward to seeing all kinds of animals in the castle garden, said Fluttershy. What about you, Naruto? Asked Spike curiously. I'm not one for formal parties and stuff like that, but doesn't mean that it hasn't piqued my interest, so I'll still be coming along, said Naruto, especially since the majority of ponies in Canterlot are so full of themselves. They are similar to the nobles back in my old world, with that you're below me attitude. That's great, I just know that we'll all have fun together, Spike spoke happily, to which Naruto smiled in response to the young dragon. Then Rarity came out of the boutique and saw Pinkie Pie bouncing on the trampoline and trotted over with a small frown on her face. Pinkie Pie, stop that right now, it's almost time for the gala and I won't be letting you put on your dress when you're all sweaty. Hearing this made Pinkie Pie stop bouncing and jump off the trampoline with a pout. Okay, I'm all set. Spike, you can bring it out now, said Twilight. Then Spike took out an apple and placed it on the ground before every pony, much to their curiosity. Ooh, are we going to make apple pie? Asked Pinkie Pie. I don't think so, Pinks, maybe Twilight is going to perform a spell on the apple, said Naruto. You're right about that, Naruto, just watch, said Twilight, then she closed her eyes in concentration as the apple glowed brightly before it grew to a large size and the light faded away to reveal an apple-shaped carriage in its place. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Somehow it feels as if I read something like this from a storybook, though I can't seem to recall the title. Well, this is just the start of things, we just need one more. Twilight turned to Fluttershy, did you bring your friends, Fluttershy? Then 4 white mice popped out of Fluttershy's mane and hopped to the ground. Yes, but will they be okay? They'll be just fine. Twilight's horn lit up again and the mice were transformed into carriage horses. The odd thing was that they still had whiskers and large front teeth. The others just didn't know what to say about that, and you won't have to worry as they'll turn back into mice by midnight. I read like something this from the book too, why can't I remember? Naruto snapped out of his thoughts when he heard a loud yowl and looked up to see Rarity's pet cat Opalescence pouncing the mice turned horses. Opalescence, no. Fluttershy called out, but she was too late as the cat had frightened the mice horses to run away. Oh no, those horses are supposed to pull our carriages. How will we get to the gala? Twilight felt worried about the current situation. Oh, whatever shall we do? My dear Twilight, you seem to have forgotten about a certain pony who can be in more than 2 places at once. Rarity glanced to the side with Twilight following it to see Naruto before her eyes widened in realization of what she meant. Of course. Naruto can create shadow clones to pull the carriage to the gala, said Twilight. Well, if it's shadow clones you need, then I can help out with that, said Naruto with a nod. Now that our means of transportation has been resolved, let us go inside and prepare ourselves for the gala tonight. Rarity led everyone into the boutique and through a door leading to another, but she closed the door and locked it before Naruto and Spike could come through, which left them standing there and looking confused. What gives? Why did you lock us out? Asked Naruto. Spike was banging on the door. Yeah, let us in already. Sure thing, guys, they heard Rainbow Dash's voice as she was approaching the door, but then they heard Rarity protest. Heavens no. We're getting dressed. Beg your pardon, Rarity, but we don't always wear clothes, said Applejack. Rarity groaned before unlocking the door and opening it for Naruto and Spike to enter. I'm sorry, you two, some of us do have standards. It's okay, said Naruto with a smile. He looked around to see Twilight and Pinkie Pie standing underneath hairdryers, Rainbow Dash sitting on a large cushion with a towel wrapped around her mane, Rarity putting on fake eyelashes, and Applejack polishing Fluttershy's hooves. But I still can't believe that we're gonna be at Canterlot tonight. I know you've been there many times, Naruto, but it's where Twilight and I came from, and I can't wait to hang out with all of you. Spike looked very excited, to which Naruto smiled at. Rainbow Dash looked a bit unsure. I don't know, Spike. We'll just have to see. Rarity blinked her eyes to make sure that the fake eyelashes won't fall out. Applejack spat on Fluttershy's hoof and resumed polishing, much to her discomfort. We're gonna be a mite busy. Busy having fun. Pinkie Pie took the hairdryer off to reveal her mane straightened and draped over her shoulders before puffing up back to normal immediately afterwards. Oh okay, Spike sat on a couch while feeling down. Cheer up, Spike, I'm sure we'll make time to hang out together, so don't be so down in the dumps. Naruto prodded Spike's shoulder while grinning, making Spike smile a little. Naruto's right, we'll all get to spend some time together. Twilight as she used a small brush to apply makeup to her muzzle from the makeup kit. Spike smiled widely upon hearing that. That's great. Now then, well, we're getting ourselves ready. You and Naruto should go and put on your suits, and you can find them in the next room. Also don't come out until we're all in the carriage, said Rarity before using her magic to levitate Naruto and Spike out of the room and closing the door. Something tells me that she just wanted us out of the room, Naruto with a deadpan expression. Spike simply shrugged his shoulders. No matter, let's go and get ourselves ready for the gala. Then they went into the next room and found the suits worn by mannequins. Later on they're sitting on chairs, both wearing a tuxedo tops over white collar shirts and boaties, although Spike's bow tie is red and Naruto's being orange, much to his fancy, but he had to put away his headband and goggles, knowing that Rarity might put up a fuss about it clashing with his attire. Then they went to sit on the driver's seat with Naruto's clones already strapped onto the reins, and the girls were inside the carriage chattering excitedly. I can't wait to show them my insider's tour in Canterlot. I want to show Rarity the crown jewels, Applejack the princess's golden apples, and Pinkie Pie will definitely love the donuts at my favorite donut shop, said Spike. Those sound like pretty cool places to check out, said Naruto. Yup, which is why we need to get moving. Hiya. Spike whipped the reins to spur the clones to move faster. Yo. One of the clones cried out before vanishing into puffs of smoke. Naruto winced a bit from the phantom pains of his clones before turning to give Spike a look as if saying seriously. Spike rubbed the back of his head while looking embarrassed. Hehehe, sorry about that, I got too excited. A few hours after creating another pair of clones to pull the carriage, they finally arrived at the Canterlot castle. Naruto and Spike got off the driver's seat and opened the door of the carriage with a bow. They looked up and were mesmerized upon seeing what the mares are wearing. "Whoa. You all look amazing. Don't you think so, Naruto?" said Spike. When he didn't hear an answer, he turned to see Naruto staring at the girls with a dazed look on his face. He shook Naruto, snapping him out of his reverie and looked around in confusion. What? Then he saw the girls giggling at him and turned away to hide his blush. "I think I'll park the carriage while you girls go inside. I'll join you soon." He walked off with his clones, and after parking the carriage, he returned to the entrance and passed through to the interior of the castle. "No matter how many times I come here, this place always amazes me." He looked around and saw many ponies walking around and having conversations with each other. He turned to a flight of stairs in the middle of the hall and saw Princess Celestia at the top with Twilight by her side and went to meet them. "Good evening, Princess Celestia and Twilight," said Naruto with a bow. "It certainly is nice to see you here at the Grand Galloping Gala, Naruto," said Celestia with a smile. "Thanks, but I was wondering where Princess Luna is at the moment. My sister had just returned from raising the moon and is in her room getting herself ready. In the meantime, why don't you walk around and meet with other ponies until she arrives?" "That sounds like a good idea. I'll see you two later then." Naruto turned to leave. "I hope you enjoy your time here." Celestia waved as she and Twilight watched him walk back down the stairs and disappear into the crowd. "I must say that he certainly looks handsome in that tuxedo." "I know, although he was whining that it wasn't orange except for the tie," said Twilight, to which Celestia giggled at. "I've always wondered why he is so attached to that particular color." Naruto himself says he doesn't know either, just that he felt a connection with it. "We may speak about it later as the guests are arriving," said Celestia, bringing Twilight's attention to see a long line of ponies coming to greet them. Meanwhile, Naruto was walking amongst the crowd as he watched many earth ponies and unicorns in fancy clothing chatting, while others are having a drink at the buffet table. He felt awkward since he doesn't know how to start up a conversation with any of them. Then he overheard a couple of ponies talking and listened in out of curiosity. "I'm telling you, my friend, it was an outrage. I just walking along the street minding my own business when a carriage passed by and ran over a puddle, splashing mud all over my new suit which I had custom ordered on that very day," said pony number 1. "What an outrage. That no good scoundrel deserves to be arrested and heavily fined for such a travesty," said pony number 2 with a look of disgust. "Truer words couldn't be spoken, my friend," said pony number 1. Naruto walked away from the ponies with a sweat drop. "I don't think I could ever understand the mindset of these aristocratic ponies." He was snapped out of his thoughts when he heard someone call out his name. Could it be Sir Naruto? He turned around to see a pony in a butler's outfit approaching him and immediately recognized who it was. "Is that you, John? It's been a while." "It is indeed a pleasure to see you again," said Jonathan with a smile. "If you're here, does that mean your master and mistress are here too?" "That is correct, as I am accompanying them to the gala. Why don't I introduce them to you? I'm sure that they'll be pleased to meet the inventor of the crystals." "Sure, I would like to meet them. Since I don't have anything to do right now," said Naruto, or any pony to talk to at the moment. "Splendid, now if you would follow me this way." Jonathan walked off with Naruto right behind him. They walked into another hallway until he finally stopped and gestured ahead of them. "There they are." Naruto looked in the direction and saw two ponies standing just a short distance away. One is a male unicorn with a white coat and azure mane and tail. Naruto also noticed that his horn is a bit larger than that of other unicorns, aside from his blade-like horn. The unicorn is wearing an expensive-looking tuxedo with a light purple bow tie and an ID card attached to it. He also wears a monocle on his left eye, and his cutie mark is 3 crowns with a purple diamond embedded in each. The other is a female unicorn with a light gray coat and a pale pink with whitish streaks for a mane and tail. She wears a white ball gown, but Naruto could see her cutie mark, which shows 3 flowers whose petals are joined together. 2 small purple flowers hover above each side of the large golden one. "Whoa, those two look really high class," thought Naruto as he approached them with John by his side. The male unicorn turned and smiled upon seeing the butler walking up to them with someone by him. "Ah, Jonathan, who would this young stallion be that you brought along with you?" asked the male unicorn. "Master, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Naruto Uzumaki, the owner of the whirlpool over at Ponyville and the inventor of those crystals," said John before turning to Naruto. "And this is my master, Mr. Fancy Pants, and my mistress, Miss Fleur de Lis." "It's nice to meet you, Mr. Fancy Pants." Naruto held out a hoof to shake, which Fancy Pants complied with a smile. "And it is a pleasure to meet you as well. I never would have thought that my butler was familiar with the one who created those wonderful crystals, as they are quite favored among us nobles." "I must agree with him, your crystals has made my shopping so much easier for me. No longer would I have to worry about lack of space in my shopping bags," said Fleur de Lis, with a flick of her long mane. Naruto felt a bit embarrassed since he rarely receives compliments from others. "Much thanks, I'm just glad that my crystals could help so many ponies." Indeed they do, and I'm curious to ask how you were able to come with such beneficial creations. Asked Fancy Pants. Well, during my travels, I discovered these crystals in a cave and noticed that they contained certain amounts of magic within. Then after much studying, I discovered that applying Fuinjutsu to them could produce various effects depending on what kind of seal I place on them. Fuinjutsu? Asked Fleur-de-Lis with a look of curiosity. It means sealing techniques. It is the art of sealing many things like objects, energy and quite possibly living beings within another object. However, it is a very complex art and making a slight mistake could result in disaster, so only those with a lot of experience can use Fuinjutsu, said Naruto. Fancy Pants looked at Naruto in wonder astounding, but if you say that only the experienced can use such art, then how can someone as young as you be able to use it? If you could excuse me in case I'm being rude. Naruto simply nodded his head in understanding. It's quite alright, that would be because of my clan the Uzumakas. We were well known to be highly proficient in Fuinjutsu and can easily understand complex seals at a mere glance. I've never heard of such a clan in here in Equestria. That's because we're from a faraway land, so you wouldn't have heard of us, said Naruto, especially since I'm from a different dimension. If you won't mind me asking, but what are those markings on your cheeks? Asked Fleur-de-Lis. Naruto rubbed the whisker marks on his cheeks. Oh, these. They're actually birthmarks. Really? Well, they certainly give you a unique appearance. Thanks, you're actually the second to say something like that to me, Naruto smiled happily. As much as we enjoyed this conversation, we must go and meet some of our acquaintances. Though I do hope that we meet again over a cup of tea, said Mr. Fancy Pants. Sure, any time at all, Fancy Pants nodded in approval before walking off with Fleur-de-Lis next to him. I hope to see you again soon, Mr. Naruto, and have a good time in the gala. Jonathan turned and went after his master and mistress as Naruto watched them leave. I like those guys, they're completely different from the other nobles and much nicer. Naruto started to look around and thought of where to go next. I wonder how the others are doing. I'm sure they're having fun right now. What Naruto didn't know was that he was only half right. Apparently when the girls split up things started out okay, but then it didn't go the way they expected it to be. For Applejack, she set up a stall at where there are ponies around to sell her food. It started out okay when a member of the Wonderbolts came by and bought a large apple pie much to her joy, but then that was her only customer so far as no one else had come to purchase any more of her food. Rainbow Dash spotted the Wonderbolts and was thinking of a way to get their attention when one of the members, who was the same pony that bought an apple pie, accidentally let go of it much to his distress. She moved quickly and was able to catch the pie before it fell to the ground. This impressed them to the point that they invited Rainbow Dash to the VIP section of the gala, much to her joy. However, that was just it and they didn't pay attention to her anymore. Fluttershy was at the castle garden to make an acquaintance with the animals living there. She could hear them in garden, but no matter how much she tried to coax them to come out and meet her, they would just avoid her much to her disappointment. Pinkie Pie had wandered into a hall where she saw the dance floor, a live band and a lot of ponies. This made her so excited that she started to sing and dance aloud, wanting every pony to join in with her. But none of the ponies shared her enthusiasm and simply ignored her. A rarity, she was currently with a handsome unicorn by the name Prince Blueblood, whom had caught her eye and was hoping to get to know him better. But she learned that he wasn't quite what she envisioned her Prince Charming to be. It was when she was admiring a red rose in the garden, then Blueblood plucked it up, but instead of offering it to her like she expected, he rather attached it to his vest, while saying that it made him look even more handsome, much to her disappointment. And for Twilight, ever since she arrived at the gala, she had been by Princess Celestia's side, but can't seem to spend the time together because the guests just keep arriving and offering their respects to the princess, not giving them the time to even exchange 10 words. This wasn't what they had hoped for when they came to the Grand Galloping Gala, but they were determined to make this the best night ever. Meanwhile, Naruto was still walking around the halls, but he had a small frown on his face. I never thought that most of these high-class ponies can be so darn fussy. After meeting Mr. Fancy Pants and Miss Fleur-de-Lis, he tried to mingle with the other ponies in the party. However, he got snubbed for his inability to hold a conversation or his whisker marks, which they claimed to make him look roguish. He found his way to a balcony and sat there looking at the scene before him. Then he looked up to the moon, illuminating the night sky. Well, at least the moon looks beautiful tonight. Thank you for the compliment. Naruto turned around to the source of the voice to see Princess Luna standing there with a smile on her face. Naruto smiled upon seeing her. Luna. It's great to see you again. Hello Naruto, it's also good to see you here at the gala. I hope you're enjoying your evening here. Yeah, I met some ponies who were really nice to talk to, but the rest weren't so nice to me with their fussy attitudes, said Naruto, but I'm sure Twilight and the others are having more fun than me. Well, some nobles do have certain standards. But if they had known who you were, they would have acted differently towards you, said Luna. What do you mean? Asked Naruto with a look of confusion. I don't know if you have noticed, but your crystals have made you quite the celebrity in the royal circles. But then who would have thought that the pony who made those wonderful crystals is the very same one delivering them?" Luna smiled knowingly at Naruto, who was rubbing the back of his head while looking sheepish. "Well, I'm not one for staying in one place for too long, and I like to check out new places most of the time." Luna giggled a bit. "So how are things in Ponyville? And did Kami give you a mission to another world?" "Things are okay, and I did get a mission from Kami-sama." Naruto turned to stare at the moon again, "and the world that I went to was my old world." "Oh, I see, what happened?" "My mission was to protect the descendant of a priestess who had sealed away a demon by the name Moryo. The demon had tried to use an invincible army to conquer the elemental nations. But the priestess stopped him by separating his soul from his body and placing them in two different places. Later on, some pony went and released the Moryo's soul and raised the army again with the intentions to reunite it with the body. Then he sent a group of ninjas to kill the priestess in order to avoid being sealed away again." "Oh my, so you had to protect the new priestess from danger." "I quickly moved in to protect her, and it was there that I reunited with my friends from the Hidden Leaf. At first they were hostile towards me, thinking that I was an imposter since they saw my old body being buried back at the village, but I was able to convince them that I was the real deal. They were really happy to see me again, especially my teammate Sakura." Naruto smiled softly. "I'm sure that they really missed you." Luna smiled gently. "They weren't the only ones." Then Naruto continued to tell her how he met the priestess whose name is Shion and how she has the power to foretell the future and the deaths of the people close to her. Luna was horrified when he said that she foretold his death but was able to calm down since he's alive right now in front of her. He spoke of his battle with one of the ninjas all the way to his final battle against Moryo, then Shion, "and I combined our chakras to form a Rasengan which was different from normal and used it to defeat Moryo once and for all. Then after the battle, I met up with more of my old friends. Shion revealed to me that Moryo was born from the darkness of people's hearts and that he might return, but I assured her that I'll always be there to help when that time comes." "That is quite an adventure, Naruto, but I feel as if you would have wanted to return with them to the village," said Luna. "You're right about that, I really wanted to go back with them, but," Naruto trailed off as he looked at the night sky. "But I didn't want to leave you all behind because you're all precious to me. Besides, I can always revisit them at any time," said Naruto with foxy grin. Luna also smiled happily at what he said. "Even when he had the opportunity to go back, he still chose to come back to us. You're really one of a kind, Naruto," thought Luna. "But Naruto, when are you going to reveal to Twilight and the others about your missions to Otherworld?" "It's eventual, they'll know, but I just need the right time to tell them about it," said Naruto. "But enough about me, how are things going for you and Celestia here in Canterlot?" "Things are going quite well for us, although the nobles still act wary around me." Luna looked down at the ground when she said the last part. Naruto let out a sigh, knowing that she's going through what he had back in the Hidden Leaf. "Give them some more time to look past what happened back then, and they'll see you for who you really are. Princess Luna, co-ruler of Equestria and Alicorn of the Moon." Luna gave Naruto a heartfelt smile. "Thank you, Naruto, that truly means a lot to me." Suddenly they heard a loud commotion going on below and looked at each other in confusion. "What's going on?" asked Naruto. "I don't know, but let us make haste and find out," said Luna. They hurried down to where the party is held and came upon a rather interesting scene. They arrived to see a large alicorn statue fallen over with Rainbow Dash underneath, as if trying to hold it back. "With this, I'll definitely be with the Wonderbolts," said Rainbow Dash, but the statue was heavier than she thought, since the weight was making her teeter back and forth. "Dash, watch out for that pillar." Naruto was too late with his warning as she bumped into the pillar, causing it to tip over and collide with another pillar, resulting in all the surrounding pillars to break apart and the statue itself broke into pieces. "Oh my." They turned to see Celestia and Twilight coming through the door to see all this, with Pinkie Pie, Applejack and Rarity looking worried. "Well, at least it can't get any worse," said Twilight. Naruto let out a groan upon hearing Twilight. "You just invoked Murphy's Law by saying that, and now things will get a whole lot worse." As if confirming his statement, the ground started to shake and the doors leading to the castle garden burst open with many animals and birds of different varieties rushing in, and Fluttershy was behind them with an angered look in her eyes, which was a surprise to Naruto. "You will love me," Fluttershy yelled out. Every pony were thrown into a panic as they ran helter-skelter to escape the chaos and animals. "I kinda hope that Fancy Pants, Fleur Disley and John aren't around to witness this," thought Naruto. Then he saw Celestia whisper to Twilight that they should run, and she whistled to catch the others' attention. Applejack and the others turned to see Twilight and Naruto, gesturing for them to come this way so that they could get out of here. They all ran through the door and down the staircase when they heard Pinkie Pie call out to Rarity. "Oh, Rarity, your glass slipper. Now your prince will be sure to find you," said Pinkie Pie. Rarity let out a horrified shriek before quickly running up the stairs and crushing the slipper with her hoof, much to Naruto's surprise and confusion. Let's go. But where do we go from here? Asked Rainbow Dash. I know a place we can go to, come on, said Twilight before leading the way for Naruto and the others to follow. Yo Pony Joe, another donut over here, said Spike, who was currently sitting on a stool at a counter in the donut shop which he told Naruto about. Turns out he was there the whole time since Twilight and the others split up in the gala. Haven't you had enough? Asked a shopkeeper known as Joe. Dude, I want another donut, and this one with sprinkles. Mind if you order up for us too, Spike? Spike turned around to see Naruto grinning at him with Twilight and the others entering the shop. Hey guys. How did the gala go? How was your best night ever? Spike ran over to them, wanting to know what happened at the Grand Galloping Gala. Actually Spike, Twilight then told him all that happened at the gala, with the others telling their story as well. Whoa. Sounds like the worst night ever. Said Spike. It was. Every pony said simultaneously before breaking into laughter. I just hope Princess Celestia and Princess Luna isn't upset with us for ruining the gala, said Twilight worriedly. I don't think so, Twilight, I'm pretty sure that they rather enjoyed it, said Naruto, since he knew how they are. You're definitely right about that, Naruto. Every pony turned to see Princess Celestia standing at the entrance along with Luna, and both were smiling. I must agree with Naruto, tonight's party was much more interesting than the previous ones, said Luna. But Princess, tonight was just awful, said Twilight. Oh Twilight, the Grand Galloping Gala is always awful. And quite boring as well since it's always the same as the previous ones, said Luna with Naruto nodding in agreement. That was why we were so happy that you would all be attending, we were hoping that you could liven things up a bit, said Celestia. Naruto quirked an eyebrow at hearing that. Really? Then if that was the case, I would have let myself loose all over the place instead of acting all chummy with all those nobles. Luna giggled. Indeed you would had you known. Although the night didn't turn out the way you wanted it, but you must admit that it wasn't all that bad for you and your friends. You're right, Princess, friends at times can make the worst into something pretty great, said Twilight with a smile. Yeah, like hanging out with friends, said Rainbow Dash. Making new friends too, said Naruto with a foxy grin. Talking, said Fluttershy. Laughing, said Pinkie Pie. You mean doing exactly what I wanted to do the whole time? Said Spike with a smirk. That's right, my draconic buddy, we should have followed your idea from the get-go, said Naruto. Well, as horrible as our night was, said Applejack. Being together here has made it all better, said Rarity. In fact, it's made it. Pinkie Pie began. The best night ever. Every pony said it simultaneously before breaking into laughter as they began to have their own fun in the donut shop. Naruto was currently in the training room at the basement and was facing the training dummy, which was made of straw with a bullseye at the center of it. Naruto's horn lit up with orange aura as several kunes floated out of his ninja pouch and hovered overhead. Here I go. Naruto quickly moved as his tail poked through the hoop of one of the kunai and flung it towards the dummy, but he didn't stop there as he continued to grab the other kunai and throw them as well until all of them had hit the target, with none missing the straw dummy bolt chain. A stream of lightning shot out of his horn and raced towards the dummy as it hit one of the kunai before arcing towards the others before it was turned into nothing but charred remains. Whew, that was a good workout, said Naruto as he wiped a bit of sweat from his forehead with a hoof. Then he levitated the kunai back into his ninja pouch. Man, I'm thirsty, time to get a drink. He headed upstairs and made his way to the kitchen. There he opened the fridge and levitated a jug of orange juice out and placed it in the table. Naruto went to the cupboard to bring out a cup before walking back to the table. It's kinda quiet around here, with Scoots being with Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle to write an essay about their field trip to Canterlot, and Trixie is busy with something else. All in all, it's just another normal day. Naruto levitated the jug over the glass and tipped it over to pour the juice out, only for nothing to come out. Huh? Naruto tried it again and still got the same result. Thinking that it might be empty, he placed it on the table and used his tail to lift it, only to notice that it felt a bit weighted, much to his surprise. He turned the jug upside down and started to move it up and down to force the content out. Will you come out? Sure enough, something came out of the jug as it plopped into the cup with a wobble. Naruto approached cautiously with a spoon and poked it as it wobbled from the contact. What's this? I know very well that it was juice when I put it in the fridge, so why this? His curiosity got the better of him as he scooped a bit with his spoon and put it in his mouth. His eyes widened in surprise at the taste. Jelly. But how did orange juice turn into jelly? He took another scoop and ate it. Not that I really mind anyway, this stuff tastes good. After eating the juice turned jelly, Naruto opened a cookie jar and took one out to eat. Might as well eat a cookie to accompany the jelly. He took a bite and his eyes widened again, only this time he was spitting the cookie out and ran to the sink to rinse his mouth before looking at the cookie jar with shock. What the hey, why did that cookie taste so salty? This is becoming too weird for me, I think I better walk out to clear my head over this. Naruto walked out of the mansion after distastefully getting rid of the cookie in kitchen. Naruto was thinking about the oddity in the kitchen, then he looked up to find himself standing in front of the library. Maybe she might have an idea of what happened this morning. Naruto walked over to the door and knocked on it. After a few moments it opened to reveal Twilight, who smiled upon seeing him. "Oh hey Naruto, how's your day?" said Twilight. "Hi Twilight, my day has been pretty weird though," Naruto replied. "What do you mean by that?" asked Twilight curiously. Then Naruto told her of what had happened in the kitchen. "That does seem quite unusual. Are you sure that you didn't leave the cookies for them to go bad?" "Twilight, I bought those cookies from the sugar cube corner yesterday, and we both know that Pinks or the cakes would never make a mistake like this," said Naruto. "You're right, but still." Drip, something splashed on Naruto's muzzle. Much to their surprise, they looked up to see a pink cloud hovering above them. Before either could say anything, brown droplets started to fall from the cloud. Naruto licked a droplet from his cheek and was surprised at the taste. "It tastes like chocolate milk." "Seriously, what's going on today?" said Naruto. "I don't know Naruto, maybe one of the books in the library can explain this phenomenon," said Twilight before she dashed back into the library. Naruto noticed that a large cluster of pink clouds hovered over Sweet Apple Acres and even caught sight of a streak of rainbow. "Twilight, I think we should head over to the apple orchard. I think Applejack and maybe the others are over there," said Naruto. "Okay Naruto, let's go." Twilight came out while levitating a spell book before her. "Hey, wait for me." Spike came running out of the library after them. The trio made their way to the Sweet Apple Acres and came upon a rather strange sight before them. There were large heaps of popcorn kernels. The apples had grown so large that the trees sagged to the weight and several animals were eating. Rabbits with abnormally long legs were seen running around with Fluttershy watching in disbelief, and let's not forget that it's raining cats and dogs with the pink clouds, with Rainbow Dash chasing after them. Naruto saw Pinkie Pie enjoying herself as she dived from one heap of popcorn to another while eating and drinking from the chocolate rain. "Are you seeing this Naru? Popcorns, chocolate rain and cotton candy clouds. This is paradise. Only for you Pinkie Pie, but this is a disaster. Does any pony know how to stop this?" said Applejack. Rarity walked up to them well dressed in a fancy raincoat and carrying an umbrella. "I certainly do agree with Applejack, these weather conditions are certainly not good for my beautiful mane. Don't worry everyone, I've just learned a new spell that'll fix everything," said Twilight as she sealed the spell book into her. "Go for it Twilight," said Naruto. Twilight closed her eyes in concentration as her horn lit up before unleashing a large purple wave of magic as it spread throughout the area and enveloped the oddities in a bright light. As the light faded away, every pony looked around only to see that nothing had changed in the least bit. Twilight was in disbelief at what didn't happen. "My failsafe spell failed. What do we do?" "I'll give up," said Spike, to which Twilight frowned at. "We can't give up on something like this Spike," said Naruto. "Naruto is right Spike, I'm sure Twilight will come up with something." "She always does," said Rarity with Naruto nodding in agreement. Twilight thought deeply about her next plan. Time for plan B. Rainbow Dash, could you corral all those clouds in one corner of the sky? All over it. Rainbow Dash flew off as she grabbed every one of the pink clouds and gathered them in one place. She swirled around them to meld into one large cloud. "Applejack and Naruto, I need you two to bring those high-strung storm clouds down to earth." "Got it Twilight, let's do it AJ," said Naruto as he focused on his chakra. "You got it partner." Applejack took out her lasso and was spinning it around. Naruto shot out a chakra tendril as Applejack threw out her lasso, with both snaring the large pink cloud and proceeded to pull it towards the ground. Naruto held it in place while Applejack tied the other end of the rope to a fence in order to anchor it to the ground before Naruto let the chakra tendril disappear. Twilight moved on to the next phase of her plan when she whispered something into Fluttershy's ear, who nodded in affirmation and spoke out loud. "Oh dear, I hope that none of the animals see these delicious chocolate-filled cotton candy clouds. I'd hate to have to share them," said Fluttershy. "You and me both sister," said Pinkie, who was taking a bite out of the clouds, but then all the animals rushed to the clouds and started to eat them, much to her annoyance. "Hey. And when you are done with that, feel free to have some popcorn for dessert," said Applejack while she walked up to the others. "You see Spike, you should never give up. There's nothing we can't overcome if we all work together," said Twilight confidently. "You got that right Twilight," said Naruto. Suddenly Spike belched up a flicker of green flames which faded to reveal a rolled up parchment sealed with a red ribbon. Twilight levitated the scroll and opened it before reading. "Princess Celestia and Princess Luna wants to see us all in Canterlot immediately," said Twilight. "Maybe they know something about the strange stuff that's been happening around us," said Naruto. In Canterlot Castle, Celestia was pacing up and down the throne room with worry and Luna was trying to calm her sister down. "Sister, please be calm, Naruto and the other bearers are on their way to help resolve the situation," said Luna. "I know Luna, but I can't help but worry." Our spell was supposed to have been permanent and now he has returned to resume his rule over Equestria. I know very well Celestia, which is why they coming to help stop that before it begins." At that moment the doors to the throne room opened to reveal Naruto and the other mares running inside towards them, much to their relief. "Princess Celestia, we came as soon as we could," said Twilight. "Thank you for coming," said Celestia. "Is it about the weather? Or the animals' weird behavior? What's happening out there and why isn't my magic working?" Twilight would have continued talking had Celestia not held out a hoof for her to stop. "Follow us." Celestia and Lunar walked into a hallway with Twilight and the others followed close behind. Naruto looked around and saw that the stained glass windows were displaying different sorts of pictures. He saw one of Celestia and Luna, with the elements of harmony surrounding them. Another showed Twilight, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack and Pinkie Pie, wearing their signature elements. Naruto saw a picture of himself wearing Kasei no Ha, well when his around his neck to show that he is the first bearer of the new element of purity. Then he saw a picture of all of them defeating Nightmare Moon. After watching for a bit Naruto turned his attention back to the princesses. "We called you here in a matter of great importance. It seems an old foe of ours, someone we thought to have defeated long has returned," said Celestia. "Who is it, princess?" asked Twilight curiously. "His name is Discord," Luna said the name with distaste in her voice. Naruto heard Fluttershy let out a squeal of fright before she hid behind him and was quivering. He turned to what scared her and saw a stained glass window which displayed a picture of an odd-looking creature. It has the body of a brown horse, the head of a grey goat with a white beard, an ivory deer antler and a turquoise goat horn, a black donkey mane, a long fang and an orange snake tongue. The rest of it consists of a right paw of a lion, a left talon of an eagle, right leg of a green lizard. The left wing is of a purple bat and the right one is of a blue bird and it has a red dragon tail with a white tuft at the end. "Whoa, so this guy must be Discord. Talk about a walking zoo," thought Naruto. "Discord is a mischievous spirit of disharmony. Before my sister and I stood up to him, he rules over Equestria in an eternal state and unhappiness," said Celestia. "I remember it as if it was just yesterday. Many Pegasi, earth ponies and unicorns suffered under his twisted rule over the land. It angers me just remembering it," said Luna with a frown on her face. "The guy sounds just like Gato, ruling over others with fear and making them fall into despair," said Naruto. The mares knew whom he was talking about from watching his memories. "Indeed, Naruto, so after discovering the elements, we combined our powers and rose up against him, turning him into stone," said Celestia. "All right, princess," said Rainbow Dash. "We thought that the spell we cast would keep him contained forever, but since Luna and I are no longer connected to the elements, the spell has been broken." "No longer connected?" Twilight was confused at what her teacher said. Soon they reached the end of the hallway and stood before a multicolored double door, which has the image of the sun at the center of it. "This is Canterlot Tower, where the elements are kept inside since all of you recovered them. We need you to wield the elements of harmony once again and stop Discord before he thrusts all of Equestria into eternal chaos." "But why us, Princess Celestia? Since you two were able to defeat Discord with the elements, then you should be able to do it again," said Twilight hesitantly. "Remember what Celestia said, Twilight, that they are no longer connected to the elements. Then that means that they can't use them anymore," said Naruto. "Since we are able to use the elements," Rarity began. "Then that means we're the ponies to kick Discord's butt." Rainbow Dash finished by punching the air. "You're right, you all showed the full potential of the elements by harnessing the magic of your friendship to defeat Nightmare Moon, and with the addition of the new element, I know that you can defeat Discord." Hearing this convinced Twilight as she stepped forward. "Very well, you can count oh. Hold on a second, Twilight. Eternal chaos with chocolate rain, you guys." "Chocolate rain," said Pinkie Pie looking desperate. "Pinks, that would also mean no more laughter or parties," Naruto deadpanned. "On second thought, Discord's going down. Please ignore her, princess, we would be honored to use the elements of harmony again," said Twilight. Celestia nodded before turning towards the door. She inserted her horn into a hole located at the center of the sun, which began to glow before it slowly opened to reveal inside a box studded with colorful gems, placed on top of a pedestal. "Ooh, you can keep the elements. I'll take that case," said Rarity with glitters in her eyes while Naruto shook his head in amusement. Celestia levitated the box from the pedestal towards them. "Have no fear, ponies, we have total confidence that you will be able to defeat Discord with these." She opened the box to reveal nothing. Every pony let out a gasp while Celestia dropped the empty box in shock that the crucial tools needed for their victory were missing. "Oh well, if anyone needs me, I'll be outside in the chocolate puddles with a giant swizzle straw." Pinkie Pie was trotting off when she got pulled back by a chakra tendril wrapped around her courtesy of Naruto. "Not so fast, Pinks, we need to focus on the new situation here," said Naruto. "The elements are gone." "How's this impossible?" said Twilight worriedly. That chamber is protected by a powerful spell that only Luna and I can break. This doesn't make sense," said Celestia. Suddenly they heard a dark voice echo throughout the hall. "Make sense? What fun is there in making sense? I recognize that voice anywhere," Luna gritted her teeth upon hearing the voice. "Discord, show yourself," Celestia shouted in anger while Naruto activated his aura sight to locate the source of the voice. He scoped the area until he settled his eyes upon a certain part where he detected something unusual. "Over there." Naruto pointed a hoof for every pony to look towards one of the stained glass windows where they saw a picture of Discord actually moving. "Celestia and Luna, it has been so long since we last met. Although it wasn't so pleasant then since both of you turned me into stone, which was a poor taste in humor," said Discord. "It is the least we could do to stop you from causing more misery for the ponies back then," said Luna. "Stop being a coward and show yourself. What have you done with the elements of harmony?" said Celestia. "I simply borrowed them for a little while," said Discord. "You'll never get away with this. I almost forgot how grim you could be, which is quite boring." "Hey. Nopony insults the princess," shouted Rainbow Dash angrily, who then flew at Discord only for the Draconiquest to disappear for her to crash into the window and pry herself out. Discord reappeared on the window only larger than he was previously with a taunting look on his face. "Oh, so you must be Rainbow Dash, famed for her loyalty, the element of harmony you represent." "That's right. I'll always be loyal to the princesses," she replied with determination as Discord disappeared again. "We'll see about that. I can't believe we're wasting time talking to a tacky window," said Rarity. Then Discord appeared in a window close to her. "A beautiful Rarity, representing the element of generosity, if I'm not mistaken," said Discord. "So you know who we are, big deal," said Applejack. "Oh, I know more than that, honest Applejack." "You seem to know our strengths too," said Twilight as she walked up to them. Naruto was just looking at Discord with wariness. The fact that he knows about them despite the fact that they had never met bothers him a lot, as the Draconiquest might know about his origins. "Yes, Twilight Sparkle, and yours is the most powerful and elusive element, magic. Fluttershy's is kindness, and Pinkie Pie is a personal favorite of mine, laughter." "I guess it means that you know about me as well," Naruto finally spoke up. "Of course I do, Naruto Uzumaki, a being from another world and the first bearer of the new element of harmony, which is purity. I find it intriguing about your element's ability to connect with the other elements of harmony, though I'm rather skeptical about you representing it given where you came from," said Discord, to which Naruto frowned upon hearing. "Enough stalling, Discord. What have you done with the elements of harmony?" said Celestia angrily. "Oh, so boring, Celestia. Really? Fine, I'll tell you, but I'll only tell you my way. To retrieve your missing elements, just make sense of this change of events. Twists and turns are my master plan. Then find the elements back where you began," said Discord before disappearing, this time for good while laughing evilly. "Oh great, just what we needed to hear. A riddle," said Naruto with a groan of annoyance. Can we go home now?" said Fluttershy fearfully. "What do you reckon he meant? Twists and turns and ending back where we started?" asked Applejack. "I don't know, AJ, it could mean anything just from hearing it," said Naruto. They were all thinking about the riddle when they heard Twilight call out to them. "Hey guys, I figured it out. I bet Discord hid the elements in the palace labyrinth." Twilight pointed through a window for them to see the maze made of tall grass hedges. "Sounds like a good place for us to start the search," said Naruto, then he turned to Celestia and Luna. "We'll be going to get the elements back and defeat Discord." Celestia and Luna nodded in affirmation. "Good luck, my little ponies, the fate of Equestria rests in your hooves," said Celestia. They all bowed before turning to leave towards the labyrinth. Naruto was about to go as well when he heard Luna call out to him. He turned around to see looks of concern on their faces. "Naruto, please be careful when you go up against Discord. He is known to be very cunning," said Luna. "Don't worry, I'll be careful around him. Wish me luck," said Naruto before he ran after Twilight and others. The pony ninja caught up and they finally arrived at the entrance to the labyrinth, which for some strange reason looked quite ominous in appearance. "We have to go in there?" Fluttershy asked while looking frightened. "Nope. Dopey Discord forgot about these babies," said Rainbow Dash while flapping her wings proudly. Then she took to the air over the hedges. "I'll just do a quick flyover and we'll have the elements in no time flat." Suddenly there was a flash of light and to everyone's surprise and shock, Rainbow Dash's wings had disappeared. And now wingless Rainbow Dash plummeted towards, but Naruto quickly channeled chakra to his hooves and ran to where she was going to crash and she safely landed on his back. "Thanks for the catch, Naruto," said Rainbow Dash. "Anytime, Dash, but what happened to your?" Naruto was about to ask when they heard Fluttershy screaming. They turned towards her and were shocked to see that her wings were gone as well. Naruto suddenly felt the connection to his magic being cut off. "Naruto, your horn is gone," said Rainbow Dash as she pointed a hoof at his head. Naruto felt for the horn on his forehead and confirmed that it was gone like she said, what the heck is going on here? He also saw Twilight and Rarity panicking over the disappearance of their horns as well. There a bright flash of light before it faded away to reveal Discord, who was laughing loudly at the spectacle. "You should have seen the looks on your faces, it's so priceless," said Discord, wiping tears from his eyes. "What did you do to our wings and horns?" said Naruto, angrily letting his chakra flow through his body, ready to attack the Draconicus. "I simply took them away to prevent any cheating in this game," Discord replied. "Game? What game?" asked Twilight. "The game which the prize are the elements of harmony. The first rule is no flying and no magic." "First rule?" said Rainbow Dash, looking confused. "The second rule is every pony has to play or the game is over, and I win," Discord smirked mischievously. "Good luck every pony." Then he disappeared with laughter, leaving the others to look worried. "Never fear everyone, we still have each other," said Twilight with a smile. "Yeah. It's like Twilight said, we can do anything as long as we work together," said Rainbow Dash. This made the rest straighten up with confidence. They trotted up to the entrance of the labyrinth. "Alright guys, let's do this," said Twilight, with every pony nodding in unison. "Together," they said as they took the first step into the labyrinth. From out of nowhere, the hedges suddenly rose from the ground between each of the ponies, completely separating one from the other. "What the? Girls, hang on, I'm coming." Naruto turned to face a tall hedge and channeled chakra to his forehoof to form a claw and proceeded to slash a hole in the hedge till he saw Fluttershy. He was about to reach out to her when the hedge rapidly regrew itself to repair the hole he made. Naruto tried again but still got the same result. "Fine then, I'll just get over it." Naruto performed a chakra-enhanced jump over the hedge, but then vines suddenly shot out and wrapped around his body before tossing him back to the ground. "Naruto, are you alright?" Naruto heard Fluttershy's worried voice and quickly replied. "I'm okay, but it seems like Discord intends to keep us separated." "Then we should all head towards the center of the labyrinth and regroup there," said Twilight. "Got it, but you girls be careful. Who knows what else Discord has in store for us," said Naruto. After hearing voices of affirmation from Twilight and the others, Naruto dashed forwards as he made his way further into the labyrinth, with none of them noticing Discord hovering in the air above with a smirk on his face before disappearing in a flash of light. Meanwhile, Naruto was running through the labyrinth towards the center as fast as he could while taking left and right turns, sometimes hitting dead ends and having to double back to take another route. "I hope Twilight and the others are okay," thought Naruto as he ran. Suddenly he happened to find himself standing in a wide open space of the labyrinth. Naruto walked slowly and cautiously through the area, then he stopped in mid-step and looked around with a frown before speaking out loud. "Come out, Discord. I know you're here." There was a puff of white smoke before it dissipated to reveal Discord wearing a stereotypical black ninja outfit with a mask on. "Oh ho, so you were able to find out that I was here. Quite impressive despite being ranked a genin before arriving in good but currently boring old Equestria," said Discord before he snapped his fingers and the outfit disappeared. "You seem to know a lot about me, how is that possible?" asked Naruto. "I'm a spirit of chaos and disharmony, so of course I would know a lot of things. Like how you failed your graduation exams 3 times in a row, you're being a king of pranks in your village, which I personally approve, the very first mission out of the village. Oh, and let's not forget that you used to be container for a rather gigantic fox with rabbit's ears and 9 tails. I'm wondering how they managed to squeeze it into you." Discord held out a notepad and was checking things off with a pencil while wearing a pair of reading glasses. Naruto narrowed his eyes at what he heard. It's almost as if he was watching him as it all happened. "What intrigues me is the fact that you represent purity despite your background and past lifestyle. Surely you didn't like how they treated you, and yet still you smile at them." "That's because I understood why they hated me even if I was the wrong target of their hatred. Besides, playing a few pranks on them turned those frowns upside down, which isn't okay in my book," said Naruto. "Now let me ask where the elements of harmony are. What makes you think I'm going to tell you? Do you have any idea how it feels to be turned into stone? Your joints would feel all stiff, take it from someone who experienced it," asked Discord, stretching his body that one could hear his bones cracking. "Well, you better work out then, cause when we find those elements, we sending you back to the Stone Age." "Oh really? I wonder how your friends would feel about that though," said Discord. Naruto frowned at the statement and closed his eyes to sense where Twilight and others. He was surprised and then worried when he sensed their emotions being negative, especially from Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, with the exception of Twilight. He opened his eyes to glare at Discord, who was drinking a glass of chocolate milk from a straw. "What did you do to them?" Naruto demanded angrily. "Whatever do you mean? I was here with you the whole time," said Discord with a golden halo hovering over his head. "Cut it with the innocence act. I know you have something to do with it." Naruto looked ready to attack the Draconicus. Okay, I simply help them see that not everything is as it seems, said Discord. In that case I'm going to help you see the consequences for messing with those close to me. Naruto raised a four-hoof to fire a chakra bullet at Discord, who conjured a tennis racket and then swung it at the incoming projectile and sent it flying back at the blonde stallion. I guess it's time out for this game. I think this new game would be just as exciting, said Discord, taking a few practice swings with a tennis racket. We'll see, Shadow Clone Jutsu. There was a puff of smoke and several clones appeared before charging at Discord. One of the clones got close enough to throw a punch, then Discord disappeared and reappeared from behind with a golf club which he swung at the clone to send it flying before it dispelled. Another clone leapt into the air as its tail was covered in chakra and elongated. Chakra tail whip. It swung the tail downward, but Discord quickly moved out of the way, leaving the attack to create a trench on the deep. Discord wiped an imaginary sweat off his forehead that was close. You have let me put on my aftershave first. Then he heard a sound from behind and turned to see Naruto quickly approaching him with a blue spiraling sphere. Instead of a shave, how about I shred that beard of yours? Rasengan. As the technique drew close, Discord arched his back just enough to allow Naruto to fly over him. Naruto saw this coming as he cancelled the jutsu, then he wrapped his tail around Discord's neck and pulled over before slamming the Draconicus hard on the ground. Naruto drew close to the prone form of Discord, only to realize that he was looking at a straw dummy. Naruto felt the ground shifting a bit and leapt backwards, just as a pit suddenly opened up at where he once stood. Naruto turned and saw a net falling, towards which he quickly formed a chakra claw to cut apart. This game is a real tough cookie, said Discord, who appeared well dressed in a hunter's outfit and holding a tranquilizer gun. Then how about a little role reversal? Said Naruto with a smirk. Discord only had a few seconds to quirk an eyebrow in confusion at what Naruto had said when the ground burst from underneath him and several tendrils of white energy appeared and wrapped around his body tightly, completely restraining his movements. Now I got you, said Naruto, feeling victorious, but then he noticed that the Draconicus was smiling instead of looking worried or angry. On the contrary, I got you. When Discord snapped his fingers there was a flash of light and Naruto noticed that he couldn't move. He looked down at himself to discover that he was wearing a straitjacket which was wrapped around his body and he fell over to the ground. Naruto struggled to break free from the jacket, but it didn't so much as even stretch from the strain. Now that I've reduced your craziness to a docile level, I can now begin with the operation, said Discord, dressed in a doctor's uniform with a medical mask on. What are you talking about? Shouting Naruto, who was still struggling against the straitjacket with no positive results. Haven't you wondered when I said no wings and no magic I didn't include no chakra? That's because I know full well that you would die if I took it, but that's not the only reason I have. What is this other reason? Asked Naruto defiantly. You seem to have a little secret hidden away in your closet and I can't help but feel extremely curious and want to find out what it is. Discord's left talon glowed with magic. Now hold still, this might tickle a little. What do you mean, Discord? You know that I no longer have Kurama inside of me. True, but who says you're empty? Then he thrust it into Naruto's chest, who watched in shock as the talons phased through it. His body suddenly felt strange as the talons grabbed something and was pulling it out, which resulted in a bright flash of light. Then a dark chuckle was heard, but the strangest thing was that it wasn't Discord laughing, but someone else. I have reunite with Naruto and Rainbow Dash, together we're a team. Rainbow Dash won't let us down, and I know how strong Naruto is, then we can figure out where the elements are and why every pony is acting so strange, said Twilight. Like she said, ever since they were separated, Twilight managed to regroup with the other mares, but then she noticed their color had changed to gray and were acting differently. Applejack was actually lying. Pinkie Pie displayed a distaste for laughter, especially when she thinks it's at her. Fluttershy was acting rudely, and Rarity was being extremely possessive of a large boulder which she claims is a beautiful diamond and is what Twilight is currently carrying on her back for her. I hope they're okay. I wonder what that explosion is all about, thought Twilight. Then Applejack pointed at the sky and spoke up. Well, looky there, Rainbow Dash is flying away, she abandoning us. Okay, now I know that's a lie. Twilight looked up to the sky and was shocked to see that Rainbow Dash was actually flying away and leaving them behind. No, it can't be. Suddenly the ground started to shake as all of the grass hedges sank to the ground, leaving behind a large crater which the ponies are currently standing in. Then Discord appeared with a victorious smirk on his face. Well. Some pony broke the no wings, no magic rule, which means that you lose and I win, he snapped as the horns and wings returned to their owners. Twilight looked around and saw that some pony was still missing. Wait, where's Naruto? If you looking for him, he should be dropping in right about now, said Discord while looking at a wristwatch. Suddenly a loud thud was heard, and every pony turned towards the source of the sound and were surprised to see Naruto, who had bruises on his body and there were some rips on his jacket. Then another pony landed close to them, but what was shocking is that the pony looked exactly like Naruto. Only that his eyes were black with red iris and was grinning darkly. "Who are you and why do you look like Naruto?" asked Twilight. The look-alike turned towards and smiled darkly. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Dark Naruto, or you can simply call me Yami. Unlike my weak opposite Hikaru over there. I represent the pain, sorrow and hatred which he hides within himself. In other words, I am the real Naruto Uzumaki." "No you're not, there's no way that you're the real me," said Naruto while glaring at the doppelganger, who simply scoffed at him. "We'll see about that, Hikaru, soon we'll find out who is the one and true Naruto," said Yami Naruto. Meanwhile Discord was laughing out loud at the spectacle as storm clouds appeared overhead and unleashing thunder and lightning. What perfect weather to release chaos. Chapter end. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Peace out.